Oh my god, okay. I still have no idea how to use this camera, but I got the bandana on today. This lighting's kind of nice. I can see it on my phone. Here we go again. I still don't know how to do a YouTube introduction, so bear with me while we have these really awkward starts. You know what? It's okay. I'm gonna figure it out eventually. All right, let's get this YouTube video started because there's a lot to cover. If you haven't watched my previous YouTube video or follow me on social media, I'm Colleen. I am a fitness content creator on TikTok and Instagram. Being in fitness and being a content creator in fitness, there's a lot of behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't realize. Most fitness bodies do not look how they do online. They don't. You gotta love social media because I always say social media is a highlight reel. You are seeing a couple of seconds in the very best moments of that person's life. You have no idea what they're doing behind the scenes, no matter what they say. You have no idea if they're being honest or not. And that's why I personally try to be the most honest version of myself and only put out content that I believe in, because there's so many people that watch your stuff. And there's so many young minds that are still on social media, and I think it's super important to keep that in mind when you put something out there. And this is not coming after any other content creators at all. I'm just speaking from personal experience. This is stuff that I used to do or that I know other people do. This is a very broad video. It's not specific to anyone in particular. I want to make that very clear. Starting off strong, let's get right into it. When people in fitness film their videos, they are not filming when they're bloated, they're puffy, and they look bad. They are filming directly in the morning, under the best lighting, when they have the best pumps. This is all something that they take into consideration when they're filming any type of content. They want to appeal to the audience as their most attractive, most appealing self, as anyone would. That is the point of social media, unfortunately. They're going to be posing, and I put a lot of stuff out there about this. They're going to be posed in their videos. They're going to be flexing. They're going to be posing in the lighting a certain way, and they're going to be turning a certain way so that you can see their muscles pop. It's a very dramatic difference compared to when they are relaxed and normal. And if you've ever come across some content creators in person, you'll realize that they're not walking around with a pump 24/7. They look like a normal person. Posing angles can completely change your shape. Where you put your camera can completely change your shape. If I'm recording a glute pump from down below, gonna look way different than if I'm holding it above or from straight back. We know our angles. If you know yourself and you know yourself in the camera, you know your angles. So do the content creators. I can look like two different people in one day. If you took a video of me in the morning compared to a video of me at night, the difference is so drastic, it's insane. And that is completely normal. I think that's a part that people don't realize. That is normal. Throughout the day, you're eating, you're drinking, you're moving around, you're doing all this stuff, you're working out, you're putting stress on your body. You're gonna look different. You're gonna look different. That's how your body works. My second point, this goes for specifically women. Hormones. Hormones can play a major part in your physique. It can affect your mood. It can affect how you look. It can affect your skin. It can affect your digestion. Everything goes into it. Hormones are such a crazy part that I think a lot of women aren't realizing, and a lot of men don't understand that either, which is why I have a hard time trying to explain things to men in the fitness industry. I think a lot of women are better at putting this out there around their cycles and such, but there's a lot of PMS that goes on. There's a lot of bloating. They eat differently, and they're not going to share that. They're not. There's some that do. Totally. I'm one of them. I totally do. But there's a lot of women that won't record videos around their cycle, or when they have that water weight difference, or they get self-conscious about their skin breaking out, and they have the filters on. Heck, I'm pretty sure I have a filter on this video as well. Filters are inevitable. If you see somebody with perfect skin, let me tell you, they probably have a smoothing filter on. Even if you go to a magazine editing facility, the photo editors, they're removing every single little detail. And I know that because I did modeling. They're removing everything with Photoshop. Don't compare yourself to what you see. If you're a woman, your body is not supposed to look the same every single week. Hard truth, It's just the facts. I'm pretty sure I gain 10 pounds every other week because of my hormone fluctuations. So you're not alone there. Sorry guys, if you're watching this, that has nothing to do with you. But point 3, editing is not always obvious. Now, I think there's one person I follow, and I think it's like Goob something. Shout out to him. He calls out almost all of the Photoshop and editing BS on Instagram. And it's really funny to watch because some of these people are really big creators, or they're sponsored by Gymshark or Define or all these big brands that are using them as their athletes, and they're completely photoshopping their videos. Really sad that we need Photoshop these days, or that people are still using Photoshop. I get it, you're self-conscious, but I mean, you do you. I don't have a problem with people who use Photoshop, but don't tell me that you just built this physique naturally and you're sucking your waist in and making your glutes bigger. You can disclose that, like, yeah, I know people that use Photoshop all the time, but they don't tell me that it's real. Like, they're like, no, that's Photoshopped. Just be honest. Literally just be honest. There's always going to be like smoothing effects. There's going to be shadow manipulation, color changes. I am one that definitely changes the lighting in my videos just to make it more cinematic and appealing. But that can have a major difference on how your muscles look in certain lighting. That's a fact. This is not accusatory, it's educational. Even if it's not extreme, it's still a perception difference. Point 4, there's a lot of health issues that go in with being camera ready 24/7 that are not talked about enough. Again, I know this because I've been there. I've seen people who are also performing for the camera 24/7. It takes a major toll. It really does. The things that fitness creators and just creators in general don't show when it comes to their physique of being camera ready 24/7, there's chronic stress on their body. There's chronic fatigue, food obsession, anxiety around foods and meals, no social life. Let me emphasize that, no social life. Now, I get being a homebody. I love staying in myself, but there's a point where it becomes anxiety driven and it's more than what they're putting out there. They're not going to share that with you. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to share that with you. When I was at my lowest and I was chasing a certain physique and I had no social life, did I tell people it was because of that? No, I was just like, I love to stay in. Okay, yeah. Training through exhaustion. There is such thing as overtraining and overworking your body. It's really hard to discuss this one because a lot of people will say it's discipline. I see that. I get it. I have discipline myself, but when it becomes a point where you're sick or you are physically unable to perform the workout and you're still pushing yourself, a lot of fitness creators will not disclose that they're feeling that bad. They're not gonna tell you that they're not physically feeling the best. A body that looks perfect online can come with a lot of hard truths. Point 5, there's extreme short-term measures that people will take, and I did this a lot when I did modeling. There's a lot of dehydration, carb manipulation, sodium cuts, skipping meals before workouts or before photo shoots. It was a very real thing. I know that when I wanted to look my best on camera, I made sure to limit my sodium intake. I cut out carbs. I always tried to look very lean, and that's not good for your body, especially long term. It's not healthy. People will do that to make their picture look better. For a photo shoot, sure. But you have to understand that that's not what somebody looks like long term and what they look like in person, most likely. There's extreme measures that they're taking to look that way. And again, nobody's gonna post the bad pictures of themselves normally. There are creators that do. Love them, love the realism. But there is a big chunk of people that will not. They're not gonna show the hatred that they have for themselves, the amount of self-criticism that some of these creators have, and they will not disclose it. I'm sorry, I personally want to love myself. Like, I couldn't stand myself when I had so much self-hatred. It was terrible. I was living terribly. I was in such a dark place. Who wants to live like that? But they're not going to tell you that. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you about the mental spirals that they're having because they don't look a certain way or that they feel a certain way in their video. They're going to post it and you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. There's so much pressure also as a fitness creator to maintain a certain image, and that is really hard. That is really hard, especially for young women and men. Like, having to upkeep this physique that's obtaining so much attention and you're getting brand deals because of what you look like, having to maintain that physique, the amount of stress it comes with, insane. Even those people are comparing themselves to somebody else. Always. I don't think I know a single person that doesn't do that. Point 7 is basically, I think a lot of people know this, that genetics play a huge role in that what you look like is going to be completely different than somebody else. You can follow their training, you can follow their eating plan. You're going to look completely different. That's just how genetics work. Everybody has their own genetic makeup. So where you start is going to be completely different than somebody else. I don't even know what part we're on, but this part I completely forgot to mention. A lot of fitness creators will not disclose if they're using steroids, peptides, PEDs, stimulant medications, GPL-1s. There are a lot of things nowadays that you can put into your body to help enhance the ability to get to your goals. And the use of GPL-1s and peptides, I think are very useful, and I think that they are fine. They're definitely helping your body in a way that a normal body isn't doing. I remember there was this one creator I was following, and she was like my idol. Love her. But she was in prep and she would post all these things about how she's managing her cravings around prep and managing all of her food noise and giving all these tips that I feel like a lot of people try and they just don't work. And she was on Reddit and didn't disclose that. She mentioned it once in one of her Snapchat stories, and I was just blown away by the fact that she never put that in her post of how I control food noise. Reddit, that's exactly what it does. And you don't have to do really anything else. Don't quote me on that, but I'd have to do more research. I know when I was taking Adderall, it was easy to stop the food noise. And for a normal person who's not taking that, it's very different and it's very hard to manage that. Just another thing that a lot of fitness influencers and creators do not tell people is that they are taking something to help them get to their fitness goals. I gotta pass it off by, oh, I just do this, or I eat this, I do blah, blah, blah. No. Health doesn't always look good on camera. And I think that's a big part of social media now is, in a lot of the fitness industry, they have all these models and all these fitness creators that are preaching health, but in reality, you have no idea how actually healthy they are. A lot of women lose their cycles. Really bad for you. There's a lot that people don't disclose, and it's really sad. It's really sad that that's kind of what the fitness industry preaches. If fitness content is making you hate yourself, that's not motivating. It's not. Your body doesn't need to be fixed, just your expectations do. What we see on social media is not real. It's very fabricated. It's not a good idea of reality. And I think that that's the whole point of this video is I need people to understand that. It's not even that I want people to understand that. I need people to understand that because it's such a big part of today. Millions of people are on social media and we wonder why depression and anxiety is at an all-time high and why so many people have body image issues and eating disorders. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's coming off a little bit strong, but it kind of needs to be said. It really does. And make sure to follow me on social media. Hit that subscribe button for more videos. I'm hoping to post at least once a week from now on. And on social media, I'll kind of put a brief out of what I want to film next, and I'll ask for your guys' opinions and comments. And let's start doing fitness in a healthier, more realistic way. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, and share this with somebody who needs to hear this today. Bye.